welcome you once again to my Healthy After 60 YouTube channel. And today, and I should, before I start talking about today, I just a little note about myself. At various times in my life, I was really quite overweight. And some might say still am a little overweight, but at 225, 6'5". At 61 years old, I feel more fit today than I've felt in many times in my past. At one point in time, I weighed 305 pounds. That was a time when I was working in sales for an IT consulting company, and we went out to rich dinners every night, didn't concern ourselves over carbs, and just ate what we wanted and drank what we wanted for that matter. And suddenly I found that I was over 305, and so that really became a real concern, to say the least. And so now at 225, I'm trying to eat very healthy, and I have adopted the keto lifestyle, I guess you may say. I always hesitate to use the word keto because it is kind of a personal journey that everybody is on as far as their own personal diet is concerned. And so I can tell you that I'm really pretty strict with myself, really certainly avoiding the carbs and avoiding sugar, avoiding processed food. And I've been doing this for, I think it's been about 3 months now. In fact, my nephew was the one who got me started with the keto diet, and it's really working for me. I've lost weight. I went from about 240 to 225, and I'm kind of just staying at 225, but feel good. Besides the diet, I also have been trying to do a daily exercise regimen, which I think is very important. And that regimen has been consisting of push-ups as well as squats. I think squats are really important, especially as you get older. I see a lot of older people that kind of struggle to get out of chairs, for instance. So I didn't want to be that person, and so I think squats kind of help to give you that little bounce when you're getting up from a chair or walking or whatever you're doing. And so one of the things that I've been finding in my own personal keto journey is I have come upon spinach as a real staple food. I would say that it's something that I eat a lot of, and so I wanted to tell you a little bit about my experience with spinach. I've tried sautéed spinach and various other cream spinach I've made. I've mixed it with other things, but my favorite spinach is actually steamed spinach. Just putting it in a steamer, steaming it, and I love the result. It seems like it complements any food that it's paired with. And so spinach, of course, everyone knows it's a food with a lot of nutrients. It's got antioxidants, as well as it's just filled with vitamins and minerals. But the part that I'm going to focus on today is the chlorophyll part of spinach. All spinach has chlorophyll, as all leafy green vegetables do. And what I've noticed is, as I've been steaming spinach, when I get done steaming the spinach, it seems like what is left in the steamer, and I'll show you that in the video. It seems like different brands of spinach, maybe different levels of freshness, kind of leave more chlorophyll in the pan than on the plate. And so we're going to be testing that theory today. And we're going to be testing it with 3 just store-bought spinaches. The first spinach is a spinach that I bought at Jewel. It was on sale, actually, Signature Farms, And I purchased that spinach, and we're going to be steaming it for 15 minutes. And we're going to be taste testing it. We're also going to look at how much green is left in the steamer, and I'll show you what I mean by that. But one thing I have noticed, and it kind of makes me think about when I used to watch movies with my children. There was Charlotte's Web, and I remember that the rat who would eat eggs opened up a rotten egg, and all the animals in the farm, they scattered. Well, that's kind of the way it is with spinach. If you get a bad bag of spinach, the odor, the taste can be really, really bad and can really set you back as far as your nutrition, as far as your digestive system is concerned. So whenever I go to the store now and I'm looking at spinach, I always test the bag to make sure that the bag is still airtight. Sometimes I'll find that it's not. And when it's not, that water that runs down on these bags of spinach, because they're always in the produce section, will get in the bag, and it'll really make the product inside pretty unappetizing, to say the least. So we'll start out with the signature farm spinach tonight. But in addition to that, I also have the little salad bar spinach. And that is the spinach that was bought at Aldi, also airtight, I'm happy to say. And we're going to steam that second. And thirdly, we're going to go to the most expensive of the spinaches. This is actually Whole Foods. They're 365 brand, and also airtight. And we'll steam that and see what it leaves behind. And so we'll start out with the Signature Farms. I'm going to get the steamer started. Turn on the stove. Going to put some cold water in the steamer. Now I will open the first bag of spinach. First, I won't be eating all of this spinach tonight. I'm gonna be tasting each of these, and I would think I'll be eating one bag of the spinach with my meal tonight. But I do think it's important. It occurred to me as I was thinking about spinach the other day that this is an experiment that's worth doing. And so I'm going to put the lid on this spinach. And so we've got our Signature Farms spinach in the steamer. It's going to be allowed to steam for 15 minutes. And I'm going to turn the video off at this point. When I return, you'll see the end result and also the taste test of just the steamed spinach. And so I look forward to returning and finding out what we find with you. Thank you. I'm back, and actually we did cook now. The first contestant, there are going to be 3 contestants. The first spinach contestant has actually been steamed. As you can see, the result is a pile of spinach. Looks good. It's got a nice color to it. And certainly I'll be tasting it. What I do is I have a small strainer that I use, and I kind of push down with my tongs here. I push down a little bit on the spinach just to get some of the liquid out of the spinach, because if you don't do that and you put it on your plate, you're going to wind up with a real watery plate. And so I hope you can see that. It is kind of hard to show it to you without spilling it, but it's actually pretty a dark green color. And in fact, I'm going to move the camera here just so that you can see this color. And so there, you can kind of see it there without me. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So you can see it's a pretty dark green color. And I'm going to straighten this camera back up. And I also noticed that at the bottom of the steamer, just so you know, it's no special effects being used. It's also the same kind of green color. So it's a I'd say kind of a medium green color that the spinach is. The smell of the spinach, it smells like spinach, so that's a good thing. Now I'm going to taste it, and I'll tell you what it tastes like. I would say that on a 1 to 10 scale, I would have to give it about a 7. And again, that was that signature brand. It's got a little bit of a pungency to it that isn't really bad, but is not super good either. But I certainly would eat it, and eating it with a dish, it sort of takes on the flavor of the dish. I probably wouldn't have noticed it because I usually have it mixed with other food. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw out the liquid at the bottom of the steamer. I'm going to fill it with some more cold water. When I say fill it, I'm just going to put about a half an inch of water actually in there is all you got to do. And so I'm putting that back on the stove. Going to turn the stove back on. And I did clean the top part of the steamer. I rinsed that out, so I'm going to put that back on top. And my second spinach is going to be the Aldi brand. This is the Little Salad Bar brand of spinach. And I'm going to open up this bag. Yeah, I would definitely say I was probably being a little generous with that last spinach. I went with the 7. I would say it maybe was more like a 6, to be candid. And so I'm throwing the spinach in the steamer, making a little bit of a mess here, kind of spilling a bit of spinach in the stove, nothing severe. And this is going to be the test of the Little Salad Bar spinach from Aldi. It's about $1.88, I think it is, for the 16 ounces, and so a good price. Actually, that signature brand was on sale for 99 cents, but again, it was possibly a 6. And so I've got the Little Salad Bar brand in the steamer with some fresh water. I'm going to let that steam for 15 minutes, and when I return, you'll get a chance to see the spinach. I'll taste the spinach. I'll also smell the spinach, and we'll see what kind of green color is left behind. Test number 2. This is the Aldi brand, and of course it's their Little Salad Bar brand of spinach. I think it was $1.88 for a 16-ounce bag, which was a good price. And what I noticed, it was kind of surprising. I kind of tell you a little story, actually. I had a friend years ago. His name was Wayne Johnson. He used to use the term effluvia. And the word effluvia, what it actually meant is it's an odor. And that odor is traveling through time and space. And when it hits your senses, at that exact moment that odor hits you, that is the effluvia, according to my old buddy Wayne Johnson. He used to use that term a lot. And never forget it, actually, effluvia. So when I opened up the Aldi brand spinach, the steamer, as it got done steaming, I noticed I was hit with a effluvia that, in my opinion, was a little pungent. I was surprised it just, I was like hit with this, struck by a effluvia that was, it just had kind of a unpleasant kind of an aroma to it, you might say. And but then I actually put it on the plate, and I do think that the Aldi brand spinach to me looks a little better than the signature brand spinach did. As far as the color of the bowl, I would say that the Aldi brand was as dark as the signature brand, maybe a little tiny bit darker. And I accidentally dumped out the bowl. I apologize for that, but it was a little bit darker, which tells me that there was definitely a lot of chlorophyll that was taken out of the spinach and into the bowl and the pan. No question about that. And now we'll be trying the taste of this Aldi brand of spinach. I've got to say, where that signature brand was, I think ultimately a 6, I've got to say this Aldi brand is probably a 7. It's not great, but it's good, and it doesn't have that aftertaste that the first brand had. It had a little bit of an aftertaste. This actually has just more of a spinach flavor, and I've got to say that I would give it a 7 on a 1 to 10 scale as far as steamed spinach is concerned. I think if I had this with a dish as a side dish, I really do think I'd find it to be very pleasant spinach. It actually is quite good. And again, I give it a 7 out of 10. And so it tasted good. And the next spinach that we're going to be testing, of course, is the Whole Foods 365 brand. And I'll be third spinach that's being tested tonight is the Whole Foods brand of spinach, the 365 brand of spinach. And the first thing I noticed, unlike the second test that I did on the Aldi brand, is when I opened up the steamer, that effluvia, now that I've kind of introduced that word, that effluvia that hit me was just, it was really very pleasant. It was a very mild kind of a smell that just smelled like fresh spinach. And I have to say, the other thing that I've got to tell you, I'm not going to try to, but actually I should try, because this is actually so much lighter than the other, here we go, so much lighter than the other spinaches. And so my theory on that is that the Whole Foods 365 brand left less chlorophyll in the pan, and then there's more chlorophyll in this leafy green spinach here. And well, I kind of found the Aldi brand kind of appetizing on the plate because it coagulated together. I've got to say, this particular brand, it's kind of kept its character. It looks more leafy on the plate, and which is interesting. I must say the color is real good. And so we'll be giving it the taste test now. I have to say that the Whole Foods spinach, it's like everything you like about spinach. It's got a very, very clean taste. It's got a really good taste. It just tastes really fresh. It smells, oh yeah, I forgot to smell the spinach. It's got a very mild smell, the most mild of all. And I've got to say that of the 3 spinaches, and this is not necessarily scientific, but in my opinion, the Whole Foods spinach is going to have the because I believe it to be fresher, it's going to have more nutrients, more minerals, more chlorophyll, because it left way less chlorophyll in the bowl and in the pan. And so while it probably is about not quite twice the price of the Aldi spinach, and certainly it's less of a quantity. It's 5 ounces versus, I believe, 16 ounces. But I've got to say that it is by far the best spinach. I would say it's like a 9.5 out of 10. You know, nothing is perfect, but it definitely is the freshest, best tasting spinach, and it kind of makes me think, as I have with other products at Whole Foods, there are times that I think it may be better for me personally to buy the higher quality product and eat less of it, whether it's a steak or a turkey burger or a burger. I really feel that less quantity and yet more nutrition dense is kind of the way to go. Right as I sit here or stand here right now, I would say that I'm kind of won over by the Whole Foods brand. Although I must say the Aldi brand was far better than the Signature brand. But in general, if I really want to buy the very best spinach, there's no question that I think that the Whole Foods brand is the way to go. A little bit more expensive, but you're going to get a much better spinach experience. And so thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you like this content, please subscribe, hit like. You can forward this video on to other people that may be going through their own journeys as far as their diet is concerned. And so I thank you so much for sticking with me here on this video tonight, and allowing me to let you know what I think about these 3 brands of spinach, and perhaps we've all learned something together. I know I have. I really think I'm gonna be purchasing the Whole Foods brand, because it's just the better product, and I think it's going to give me the most nutrition, even for a higher price. And so thank you again. Have a great night.